All right, so let's talk about what happened last night. Obviously, Olberg stopped the Dominic Reyes comeback train in a blinding 1-2 that really knocked Reyes' block off. And let me say this about it, right? They postured in front of each other for almost 4 minutes, right? Excuse me, they didn't land very much. They didn't commit to very much, especially not Dominic Reyes. Now, and Dominic Cruz said this at one point. He said, you cannot let a guy lead the dance like that, right? Like that type of, it's almost like shadow boxing with your opponent, right? And I think the reason we get into that habit in the MMA world is they're sparring with little gloves, right? And sparring with little gloves, you obviously can't wail on your partner. That's would break their face and it wouldn't be a sparring session. It'd be a real UFC fight. You can't do that. So what happens is guys put on little gloves and they can get so used to that type of sparring. They're constantly looking for openings and setups. Now, Reyes looked very fearful of Olberg's power with good reason, as we found out. However, you may be fearful of a guy that's got a lot of power. You may know that guy can put your lights out with one shot, but a lot of times stepping in and throwing your own leather is the best antidote to that. Because once you get the respect of the other guy, sometimes you can back him off and his power isn't thrown so wantonly. I don't think Derek Reyes got any respect the way he was sort of shadowing Olberg throughout the ring. And in fact, what it did is it gave Olberg enough reads to the point where that 1-2 actually KO'd him. I don't even think he needed anything on the ground. Like Reyes was out before he hit the ground with that. So, I don't know how you solve a problem like that because little glove sparring is necessary for the type of sport that MMA is. Because if all you do is full contact, big glove sparring, right? Let's show it towards what Derek likes, right? Full contact, big glove sparring, Sean Strickland style. Problem is, in MMA, you don't have big gloves. You can't cover up and have protection. You can't catch punches. And if you catch a punch with that little glove, you're going to hurt your palm. So the things you can do with big gloves, you cannot do when the little gloves are on. So sparring full contact, big gloves does not solve that problem. And I guess what it is you're always in the middle, right? You got to do a little of everything. And what's the perfect match? And nobody knows. And everybody likes one thing better than the other. So they're going to focus on what they like. Typically, I can tell you, I hated sparring with little gloves. Why? Because I couldn't really hit someone. So my power wasn't there. So I had no advantage. I felt like I was losing all the time. And, I gotten older. And now my karate style, which was never full contact, actually makes me pretty good at that kind of sparring. But yeah, man. Poor Reyes lost his freight train, but let's see Olberg in the next light heavyweight title shot. Everybody like and follow for more on the fight.